Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, October 26th, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. Yesterday, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office conducted a traffic stop on County Road 305 in Bunnell on a Dodge pickup truck with an expired tag and a registered owner whose driver's license expired in 2019. The driver was identified as 65-year-old Lewis Branson. Upon questioning, it was determined Branson was aware that his license was expired for more than 6 months, and he was arrested without incident. While searching the vehicle, deputies found drug paraphernalia and what appeared to be a grenade. Branson stated he had cleaned out a veteran's home and found the grenade and decided to keep it. He was unaware if it was active or not. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office closed State Road 305 for a time and diverted traffic to ensure the safety of the community. They also requested assistance from the St. Johns County Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team to determine if it was a real grenade or a prop replica. After an x-ray, it was determined to be real, and the grenade was removed from the vehicle and safely detonated at a nearby county-owned facility. Let's take a listen.
Burn home! Burn home!
Branson has a criminal history in both Florida and Georgia. He was arrested for driving with an expired license for more than 6 months and possession of drug paraphernalia and booked into the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility. The investigation is continuing on the grenade and additional charges are possible. A scheme to defraud tax clients in Flagler County is getting the attention of federal authorities. Karen Johnson reports.
It's been several months since the Flagler County Sheriff's Office opened over 100 cases from victims of an alleged scheme to defraud clients of Flagler Tax Services. The FCSO General Assignment detectives have conducted approximately 85 interviews with victims, and federal authorities are now taking over the investigation. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley explains why the federal involvement is helpful.
Federal authorities have now adopted the cases that were reported to us and will be continuing the investigation. This is good news for the victims because in the federal system, criminals serve 100% of their time in prison. And usually the court case is completed faster than the state system.
Sheriff Staley says detectives seized multiple computers, files, and other evidence potentially linked to numerous incidents of a massive, organized scheme to defraud clients from Flagler Tax Services. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Amy Cherry has more.
Trish Giacconi, CEO of the Family Life Center in Palm Coast, says the signs aren't always outright.
People think of the black eye, the busted lip, that physical aspect, and certainly there are those situations. However, domestic violence encompasses emotional abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse. So these are all things that are not visible to the average individual. And oftentimes we have victims who may not even identify as a victim until they speak with an advocate and learn that definition.
Oftentimes, when someone calls in a domestic abuse report to the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, the reports do involve violence. But Sheriff Rick Staley says they do get calls about financial or verbal abuse, too.
That is a much harder case under Florida law for deputy sheriffs to investigate and make an arrest. So that's why it's important to have this great partnership, because mental abuse and financial abuse occurs, but for law enforcement to make an on-scene arrest, we have to have evidence. And so evidence of financial or verbal abuse is going to be very difficult for law enforcement to prove the case.
If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, visit FamilyLifeCenterFlagler.org for help. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
While COVID-19 continues to dominate the attention of medical professionals, one local health official remains tops in his field when it comes to another deadly disease. John Arking has the story.
Flagler County Medical Director Dr. Stephen Bickle recently renewed his HIV specialist credentials by passing an exam sponsored by the American Academy of HIV Medicine. Bickle, who received his initial HIV specialist designation in 2018, tells WNZF that whereas previously telling someone they had HIV was a virtual death sentence, that is no longer the case.
The way I described it is this. Let's say you went to an oncologist and they said, you have metastatic cancer, it's spread throughout your body, and we can't get rid of it. But we could give you a pill that has a couple meds in it with minimal side effects. Just take it every day, and your cancer will never bother you. That's kind of what it's like to treat HIV these days. We can't cure it right now, but we can completely control it in almost like 98, 99% of the people. All they have to do is just take their meds.
Under Dr. Bickle's leadership, Flagler's HIV program has grown to serve nearly 100 clients. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Erking.
6 years ago, the Sea Turtle Hospital at Whitney Laboratory for Marine Bioscience, University of Florida, was born with a goal of turtle conservation and rehabilitating injured sea turtles so that they can be released back into the wild. Catherine Eastman is the Sea Turtle Program Manager at the hospital.
It was real grassroots, community-driven, and UF said, all right, let's see what you got. If you build it, they will come. Kind of, let's see what happens. And by golly, we built it. The turtles showed up. Some money showed up. The community showed up. And then we convinced main campus that this really is a really important effort to help continue with. Fast forward 6 years, and we're excited to break ground on a new facility.
Taste of the Fun Coast is an upscale foodie event to benefit the Sea Turtle Hospital. It's happening tonight from 4 to 7 at Hammock Beach Resort. Tickets are available at the door. You would think this training starts in college, but it doesn't.
It is fire rescue training, and it starts freshman year at Flagler Palm Coast High School. Training officer Gil Aspinwall says that it continues through the student's high school career.
Right now, we use the freshman year as a kind of a gateway. So they take the medical side, which is called emergency medical responder, and that's when they learn the basics. How to bandage a wound, how to deal with a broken arm, plus learning a lot of the different body systems that are a little more than what they had in grade school.
Aspinwall said that sophomore year is when students start the actual fire portion of the course. He said it continues through their senior year in school. The Flagler Voice is on WNZF every Saturday morning at 8:30. The podcast on the Flagler Radio app. Tomorrow, what do students learn and when do they learn it? From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.